Well, I didn't really have many ideas for videos this week, so I thought I'd do another tag. I hope nobody minds this. I'm sure it'll be fine. Hello, everyone. Britton here, also known as Samoki Dude. A bit of a mellower version of me. I'm a bit tired. I've had a long day. But I am back here today. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I got tagged by Shannon from Shannon's Shelf, who's a pretty cool guy. Looks suspiciously like Liam's Lyceum, but we won't go into that. But I've been getting tagged by a lot of people recently, mostly Shannon and Dr. L or Logan from Dr. L Reads. I've been tagged a lot by those guys. So I thought I'd play some catch up because I don't usually plan a lot of big videos towards the end of the year. So I'm gonna do this end of year tag. Shannon very kindly tagged me. I think Dr. L did as well, but I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, today I'm going to be answering 6 questions about what's going on and what I'm planning to do for the end of the year, and I'll tag some other people by the end. So let's get to it before I stall for too long. Question number 1. Are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? Well, the only one I can think of, I was going to say Moonwitch Spider King, but I just finished that book last night as of the recording of this video. But the book I'm going to talk about is The Wizard Knight by Gene Wolfe. I've completed the first volume of this right here, but I haven't read the second one yet. And I was going to read it this month, but I got caught up with Moonwitch Spider King, and now I kind of want to take a break because let me tell you, Moonwitch Spider King was a bit of a dense book. I want a bit of a break, want a bit of a breather, and I'll get back to this book, so I'm going to read it in December. So sorry, Shannon, Liam, T. I'm going to be a little late in starting The Wizard from The Wizard Knight and finishing this book. I read the first one in October. I thought it was fine. I'm still kind of struggling with Gene Wolfe's style. Again, if Sam watches this, I apologize in advance. But yeah, I'm kind of struggling with Gene Wolfe's style. But yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's more coherently paced than the other book I read from him, which is The Land Across. I mean, I guess that's not really saying much, but yeah, The Wizard Knight is my first answer for the first question. So yeah. Moving on. The second question I have here today is, do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? Not really. I'm really bad at doing like seasonal books. I am going to kind of do that a little bit next month, and I kind of did it this month a little bit with my Veterans Day reads that I was doing. But the first book that kind of came to my mind was Speaks the Nightbird by Robert McCammon. I've had buddies who've told me about this book for a long time, and I absolutely enjoyed this read a lot. Easily one of my favorite books I've read this year. Despite its length, it moves really fast, and Robert McCammon is not only a gifted prose stylist, but also a really talented storyteller. This book was just absolutely enthralling all the way through. I am totally sold on the McCammon cult. I have joined the party. Speaks the Nightbird is, it also gave me a lot of autumn feelings, though there's a lot of really graphic depictions of sickness in this, so that kind of reminded me of autumn as well. Sorry if I'm just rambling. Again, I've had a long day. But, yeah, I'm gonna go with Speaks the Nightbird. It gave me that autumn vibe, while, not really being too autumny. But for the second question, I'm going with Speaks the Nightbird. So, yeah, let's put this down. Number 3, is there a new release you're still waiting for? No, not really. I've been kind of tuckered out of waiting for... I don't know if there's any books coming out towards the end of the year. I'm sure there are. There's not any that really captured my attention. The only ones that have really captured my attention have been Alan Moore's The Great Win, because I'm a big Alan Moore fan, and this is apparently his first take on a fantasy novel. So I'm really interested to see what he does. Though I'm probably not going to get to this anytime this year. I might do it next year, but we'll see. But The Great Win is probably the last one that have really captured my attention. That or Absolution by Jeff Vandermeer, because that's the fourth of the of the Southern Reach books. I'm sorry again. I'm not really again, sorry, my brain is just mush right now. But not really waiting for any in particular, but the most recent one that I have really been waiting for that finally came out, this was like a month ago, by the way, is probably The Great Win by Alan Moore. So, I'm always a fan of Alan Moore. I'm always going to check out what he reads. Will I like it? I won't guarantee that, but I will at least check it out and give it a shot, because Alan Moore is one of my favorite writers, and I'm really curious to see what he does with a fantasy. So, yeah, I'll just put this down. Number 4, what 3 books do you want to read before the end of the year? Now, this was kind of tough because I'm trying to keep my reading. I'm trying to kind of stick with some shorter books for the end of the year. Or at least, if not short, manageable books for the rest of the year. So, some books I have here. I have Eileen by Otessa Moshfegh. A lot of my friends have told me to read Otessa Moshfegh. Lapvana in particular looks really interesting, and I've had a couple of friends who've spoken really kindly about that book. But Eileen also sounds really interesting. It really sounds like one of those really dark, female-centric crime slash psychological thriller stories, like from Gillian Flynn. I really like Gillian Flynn a lot. Now I'm not saying that Otessa Moshfegh is like the same thing as Gillian Flynn, but I'm hoping that I get a similar vibe from Eileen. But I've had a lot of friends who really like this book. I have a lot of friends who really like Lapvona. I decided on Eileen because it takes place during the Christmas, New Year season. So I decided, why not? I'm going to give Eileen a shot before the end of the year. Second book I have is one I've wanted to try for a while. Also seemed like a good Christmas / wintry read, and that is Deathless by Catherine M. Vellante. A lot of people have told me to check her out as well. My friend Natalia on Goodreads. My friend Raph really likes her a lot, so there's that as well. But Deathless is one I've wanted to try for a while because it seems like a fantasy, but it also takes place during World War II and during the Eastern Front, which is a topic of particular interest for me because I have a bit of a weird interest in Soviet history from like the beginning, from like the 20s all the way till around like World War II, the Stalin era, the Stalin, Trotsky, Lenin era. I'm quite fascinated by that period of time. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think all 3 of those people were awful individuals, and I'm not saying I think these 3 were any way admirable figures, but I'm really quite fascinated by that period and the Eastern Front of World War II, which was one of the most brutal parts of that war that wasn't the Pacific Theater. Because the Nazis and the Russians, they were not holding back. I mean, I won't go into it. There's a lot of really spine-tingling stuff. If you've ever seen anything, if you've ever played like Call of Duty World at War, or if you've ever seen the movie Come and See, I haven't personally seen it, but I know a lot of people who have. Probably gives you the best idea on what the Eastern Front was like. But Deathless, though, Deathless seems like a very fantastical take on the Eastern Front, and it also apparently does the Koshi the Deathless story. And I have a bit of a passing interest in Russian lore. I mean, I'm not really, don't call me an expert, but Hellboy really ignited my interest in Russian lore. There's a lot of really interesting, weird stuff from Russian lore. But I Deathless, though, I am hoping to have Deathless read before the end of the year, so help me God. If I don't, God help us all, because I'm going to be very disappointed if I don't get to it. But it is definitely on the list. Third one is one I already brought up, and hopefully nobody minds. But that is The Wizard from The Wizard Knight by Gene Wolfe. I've already kind of explained. I'm hoping to get this done before the year's over. Kind of Wolfe's take on epic / high fantasy. I won't say too much more. Refer back to question 1 to get my views on why I'm going to be finishing this book. And also, sorry, Liam and Shannon and NT for lagging behind. Yeah. So, actually, I forgot to grab something. Yeah, that's question 4. Those are the 3 books I hope to have done before the end of the year. So help me God. Number 5, is there a book that you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? Not really. I'm pretty solid about what my favorite book of the year is. I've been solid about it since February. So, I'm saying no, but I am curious to see what I'll make of Deathless by Catherine Vellante, because it really sounds like the type of fantasy that would really tickle my pickle. You know, it would really appeal to me as someone who likes more dark, poetic fantasy. Deathless kind of seems like something that Neil Gaiman would do, and hey, never a bad idea to riff from Neil Gaiman. I think he's a very good guy to riff from. I won't say he's a good guy in his personal life, but he is a good guy to riff your writing from. Just saying. And also, I am curious to see how Catherine Vellante deals with the Eastern Front in World War II, but I already kind of explained it a little bit in question 4. So, yeah, Deathless, looking forward to that, but I think my pick for my favorite book of the year is solidified, not going to change anytime soon. And for the final question, number 6, have you already started making reading plans for next year? Yes, I have. I am definitely having plans of books I'm hoping to read. I'm actually thinking what I'm going to be reading in January. But yes, I do have hopes. I start setting this up a few months in advance before 2020, before the next year comes. So like October maybe is when I start planning for the next year, maybe a little earlier than that. Yeah, but I do have a good bunch of plans on what I hope to do in 2025. There are plenty of books. Some I've mentioned already, so you guys have probably heard me talk about, I'm going to read this next year. I'm going to read this next year. So there's a couple of books that I have mentioned that I'm really hoping to get to next year, but I'm going to remain tight-lipped until 2025 comes around. So, sorry. All right, that's about it in terms of the video. It's went by a lot quicker than I thought. I guess it's because there were 6 questions and not freaking 40 books like last week. Anyway, so people to tag, and there are many. Well, not really. But there are 4 people I'd like to tag. First one is my buddy Jason Furman. I like to tag him in a lot of these because I think it's fun when he does them. My buddy, homie Darko from Kindles and Kicks. I'm really hoping to get him involved on this. I think it would be fun to see what he's planning for the end of the year. A recent guy I've started hanging out with, his name is Already Overbooked. He's become a friend of the channel recently, so I'm going to tag him. Hello, man. How you doing? And my last one is, of course, Sam from iSamwise. I don't know if he would do a tag, but I would be very curious to see him do one. So there you go, Sam. You have been officially tagged by me. It means business. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got for today. Again, sorry if I seem a little frazzled. Again, I had a long day today, and I'm kind of recording this as I'm kind of losing the last of my steam here. But I hope this video was coherent enough for you guys. But if you guys enjoy this content, you can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Goodreads and Letterboxd, where I write reviews that are probably more coherent than the one you just heard right now. You can also find me on Instagram and Blue Sky. I've started to use Blue Sky a little more, so come to my Blue Sky, come follow me, come hang out with me, do whatever you want. And also check me out on Discord. I like hanging out on Discord from time to time. Hang out, talk with me, share your thoughts, share your feelings. I don't bite. Also, like, comment, subscribe. If you guys want to share some of your end of 2024 plans, feel free to share in the comments. As I said, like, subscribe. As my friend John Minton likes to say, it feels good when you do it. So, yeah. End of year tag. Hope you all enjoyed it. Until next time.